No, we're live. All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Queen's Realm Podcast. And you see, I got my squad here again. I got my regular squad, and I got some people you ain't never seen. So we're going to do a quick interruption. Jesus. Okay, introduction. You understand? Okay, we got my lovely sister in Christ, Niecy. We got
Hi, everybody.
my friend Elgin over here. I'm pointing, but can't nobody see what I'm pointing at. But y'all will figure it out. We got the XD. We got Glow, the best friend, and Chris and the XD from Chris and XD's podcast. Today,
Thanks for having us.
today, we're going to talk about playing house. But the name of this episode is Playtime is Over. Now, we are six different people. We might have six different views on the subject. We lost him. He'll be back. On the subject. But the main points of this episode, because everybody wants to talk about living together before marriage. That's a little bit of this, but that ain't really where we're going with this one. The direction I'm going is the need to always have somebody in your house. The need to always want to be wifey or hubby, but you ain't nobody's wife and you ain't nobody's husband.
Mm.
Okay? Because I asked a question on
Correct.
the Queen's Realm group on Facebook, Queen's Realm Podcast group on Facebook. What's the difference between girlfriend duties and wife duties? It's like, what's the difference between boyfriend duties and husband duties? And a lot of the men didn't know the answer to that.
Mm.
And then we also are going to discuss a little bit of what we call cuffing season, where people get trapped by the hobosexuals. And by that mean is they don't have nowhere to live unless they're in a relationship. So when it get cold outside, especially up here because it actually gets cold, oh, then I need me a boo or a baby because I need somebody to cuddle with. No, you need somewhere to live. And that's different. So by show of hands real quick, who on today's episode has lived with somebody that she wasn't married to? Okay.
But
Nah.
Yeah, I didn't say but. I said, have you done it? I'll tell a little bit about my experience. I lived with somebody for 8 years before we got married, and we was married for 9 months. Then we didn't live together because we got divorced. But it took us 8. We lived together from the inception of our relationship almost. And then right after that, I lived with somebody again. So never again, but mainly never again because I was with somebody for 8 years, almost. Well, before we got married, then it was like 9 and some change. Here's the problem I had: we lived together every day, all the time. Every time I wake up, you're there. Then we started working together, so there's no escape. You're everywhere I go, and I'm the middle child of 5, so it was always somebody in my house. I didn't have my own room until I was divorced. That's reason number 1 why I don't want to live with nobody else. Niecy, how long did you live together with somebody?
My experience was very short-lived, so I'm kind of in that boat of I never really did, but I did. It was probably for about 3 months. It was it was very short, and then on top of that, he made sure not to move everything into the house so that he could, do his shenanigans. But yeah, it was about 3 months.
Oh, okay. So he was. I'm gonna put a toothbrush in here. The next day, I'm gonna bring some shorts. He snuck in. He didn't really
Just
move
bring
things.
a few items, and that way I can say I don't really live here, but I live here,
Because you don't go
basically.
home. Elgin, what about you?
My experience, I was in a committed relationship, so it was on the way to marriage, and it made it to marriage. So it was a good experience, you know. We lived together, I'd say at least a year before we actually got married. We both had our own places. I kind of just cohabitated at her place for the most part. And then eventually I stopped paying rent at my place and it just kind of became living together. Because I was paying for nothing. I was never going home. I was
I
always
feel you.
there. So that was um that was that part as far as living together before marriage.
He said, I'm gonna write down something he said. He said committed relationship because it's gonna come to a point where I'm gonna talk about uh y'all just it's people I know who've lived together with somebody and they don't even have a title. They still in the what are we stage, but y'all live together. Gloria.
Bills.
You just explained my situation. Like
What are you talking about?
that's kind of what happened. We were really good friends, turned into best friends, turned into, friends with benefits. And he asked me to move in slowly. I did it part-time for a while because we wasn't together, but I was like, I like it, some living, loving. But that last couple months, then we actually got together committedly in a relationship. A couple more months, then we broke up.
I want to fight him for something else.
Yeah, he put all my stuff in my little clear tub and told me come get it. You're right, Sarah. It's your home. You're right.
I want to fight him, so it's okay. Y'all don't know that story. I want to fight him, like to this day.
So you were living at his house. He
Yeah.
asked you to move in with him. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm triggered. It's not even my
Yeah.
I want to fight him. Okay, Chris, because XD was the only one who did not raise his hand on that part. So
Yeah. So I think I probably got the award for the shortest situation. It's one of them homosexual type things. Like person I was with, like couldn't afford to get a place on their own, so they wanted me to sign for them and like put my credit on the line for it, or whatever. And I usually have this firm rule about not shacking up, but you think you got to compromise because you're in love and you want it to go towards marriage, and this is how you take that next step, blah blah, whatever. So I broke my rule. We moved in. I moved in on Friday. Spent the weekend getting our stuff in. Monday we had an argument over nothing and broke up. So that was the end of that.
well, you
That
said
don't count. That
Oh,
does
yeah,
not count.
that was definitely short lived.
I mean, I like to say, but I learned the lesson from
No,
it.
he said he put his stuff on his credit. It counts because even if you don't listen,
that's what I wrote down. I was gonna have to bring that back up for you, boy. Credit on the line. Woo.
Yep.
my
Wait,
credit
so
was
you
on the
guys
line.
broke up? Did she still stay at the place? Like, we need more details, Chris.
Yep. That's it. Like
I threw the
You
pen.
need that.
she stayed at the place because that's
We
the place
need
that she
that.
wanted to live, and she couldn't get there on her own. So
So you guys broke up, but you still allowed her to stay at the place and you moved on.
right, yeah.
Did she end up breaking the lease or anything? She stayed there a full year?
No, I think she ended up staying there for a year. Like we hadn't spoken, but
He froze.
last time I talked to her, it was like 4 months after or so, and she was still there. So,
Interesting.
like, I didn't take a credit hit or anything, thank God. So, yeah,
Yeah, you lucky.
Yeah.
Amen.
I
That is
can't.
good.
there she is.
It's a good
We're gonna
credit.
segue
Even when we
that
don't
right
deserve it.
into. We're gonna child just put that on Facebook the other day. You do stuff and God be looking at. I know God be. Just want to throw that sandal so bad. I know Jesus want to throw the sandal from heaven so much. I'm not even gonna judge him on that because I got divorced. Right, everything was in my name because my ex-wife is a felon. She committed a felony while we was together though, and I stayed. But the felony, I'm. We just gonna say that it was. Ain't nobody mad that it happened. I'm just gonna put it like that. Violence is never the answer. I will say that. But when you're in a domestic violence situation and there's some domestic violence happening in front of you to somebody you love, you do what you gotta do. Okay? We just gonna Gloria know what happened. I think DC might know what happened, but if you don't, I'll tell you later. We're not gonna put that on here because
Okay.
people still on parole. Okay, or probation, one of those. I'm not gonna judge Chris for that because, like I said, I got divorced in 2016, and they everything was in my name, so I let them stay there, and I even went down because I moved back to Michigan. They're in North Carolina. I even went back down there and signed the lease for a whole nother year.
The audacity of you, ma'am. Oh,
You know, so you're looking real judgy over there for a whole nother year
Yeah,
because they
don't
didn't
judge.
have nowhere to live. And I was minding my business. I was in a whole relationship. Now, the problem was I went from that person to another person. Now, I can't get nothing in my name because I already have something in my name. And the person
well,
I'm
I
with,
said that.
that I was then with, didn't have no good credits either. And they had something on their record. So
Hmm.
I got to say this out loud. Don't judge me. We was shacking in somebody else's house. We,
That happens.
we was roommate
It
shacking. So
happened.
it was us, this one couple on one side of the house and another couple on the other side of the house. And if you've ever lived in Florida, you know that's not uncommon because the rent.
Nah,
And
Facts.
we lived in Point Siena, right by the Walmart though.
Mm.
It's hot. Like the and this is just a 3-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms. The rent. That house ain't as big as this house. The rent was a 4-digit number. I'm just gonna say that. Just the rent was.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be a no for me, but you do what you gotta do.
Yeah. See, here's the thing. And then in that relationship, I realized I was with a homosexual because they was counting on me to get us somewhere to live.
Hmm.
But you already live in Florida. See, now I went from North Carolina to Michigan to Florida.
Hmm.
My ex-wife's from Ohio. We talked about that on one of these other episodes about that should have been a strike one. Because I'm from Michigan, they from Ohio. They Ohio State fan. This is a
Never
yellow and blue
works.
house. We should have knew that wasn't
Never
gonna work.
works.
Never say never. Um, this episode started because me and XD, who's having technical issues, we have some mutual friends on the Facebook, and Gloria might know who I'm talking about because she know this person too, because they ex significant other had to delete last night, so she know who we talking about, and she's a very wonderful woman, but she always end up with the homosexuals.
Hmm.
And it's because we cross the lines of doing what girlfriends do and what wives do.
Mm.
And I don't even know where that line ends myself. So
I
I
can
don't want to
tell
be
you.
caught in the homosexual. Gloria said, I do.
I can tell you.
Okay, Gloria.
It's literally the title. Because what do you do as a girlfriend that's different from a wife besides
Mm.
the ring? I mean, you're doing the same thing, are you not? You loving
Some
them, you're cooking for them, you're there for them, you're loyal for them, you're doing the exact same things.
mm,
But the difference is before you're a girlfriend or a wife, you're doing these things for friends. So I wouldn't call
mm.
them girlfriend things if you're not a girlfriend. They're not wife things if you're not a wife. Because you cook, don't you? That's not a wife thing. You cook. You clean.
I
That's not a wife or girlfriend thing. You just do it.
And that's where the confusion was on the guy's side. It's like where is the difference actually is kind of like the question we were getting at in
Yeah.
that conversation.
see my sister. Everybody know my sister except for Nisi and Elgin. Her and her husband have been together 20 years. They just celebrated 20 years. Um, and she said I didn't do anything. She put it in the post or whatever for her husband before she became his wife that she did as a girlfriend. Now they've been together since they was like 16.
Hmm.
But I had to think about, is she lying? And I had to think about, she said besides the sex part, that's the only thing she did.
Hmm.
But I'm like, is she? You're right. And he begged her. He had to ask her to marry him like 3 or 4 times before she was like, okay, whatever. But child, I'm
I
just gonna say
think
bless his
that
heart. 'Cause Gloria know him.
I think that it takes balance, and then there are certain things that, like, let's look past cooking and cleaning. Certain things can come up when you're in a relationship and you're in a marriage. Certain things in the relationship, you might just have to walk away and say, you know what, I just can't, because I am just a girlfriend. But then there are things as a wife where it's like, okay, I took vows, so I have to stick through it, and I have to be here and just, support my husband. But there are certain types of support that's just too much support as a girlfriend.
Right.
Come on, somebody.
And
Come
I
on.
feel that, but the argument we always get into is like, am I going to cook, clean, and have sex with this person? And it's like, if that's all it is, then like, what's the difference? I mean, even saying the fact that if
Still balance, you still need balance even with that,
right,
like.
And I mean, if we're in, our 30s, or I don't know how old y'all are, but if we're in our 30s and you're with somebody who doesn't know how to prepare food for themselves, you probably shouldn't be in that relationship.
Because what you gonna eat when I'm not here?
Right.
And if they can't like clean up their own place, why are you in that relationship? Like when you limit the discussion to just like cooking, cleaning, and sex, then I just don't see what the difference is. Now, what you're saying as far as like certain things that come up, like if they get terminally ill or something, they need an organ donation, something like that. Yeah, that's husband wife type stuff. But like other than that, I mean,
if we're talking, let's just say cooking, right? Okay. So I'm your girlfriend. Do you expect me to cook for you, or is it just a appreciation, or it would be nice if you cooked for me?
Yeah, me personally, it'd just be nice. Like, I'm never going to expect that from somebody. Even if I'm married, I'm not going to expect it. Like, you busy, you working, I'm working. Like,
no, I think if you're married, you should expect it. That's this.
I mean, I can see that. Like, I don't particularly disagree.
If it's just a relationship, nah. If it's done, then it's like, okay, good looking out. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. But you can't have a wife that let's just say, your wife doesn't even work.
Okay, that's different. Yeah.
You don't expect.
Because I'm about to say, some of us, listen, whoever broke that door first need to cook something.
I'm going to expect, if I'm a man, I'm going to expect some food.
I mean, yeah. Like,
maybe not
if
every
you ain't
day,
doing
but
nothing
I
else at
expect
home,
some food.
Yeah, you can at least
not
go
doing
pizza.
nothing else. Come on now, let's.
If you're not
talk
doing,
about it, let's get into it.
If you a stay-at-home wife and y'all don't have no children, you don't even have a dog, man, what you do today? Like that part. Now I have my other best friend is she was a stay-at-home wife. She just went back to work because she wanted to, was a necessity. But she had 3 children, 10, 1, and 4. Let me tell you something. I love my godchildren to death, but them little ones. One of them was in Damien the Omen, I'm sure of, but I love him to death. But listen, it would be times where, I call him my brother-in-law, would come home and he would have to cook just because she breastfeeding. It's a toddler. Okay. And 10-year-old. So she have to get everybody up because he's going to work already. When you got little kids and an older kid, the little kids have to go with you wherever you go. So she got to take all the kids out the house to drop off one child. She got to feed everybody. I watch her clean, and in the middle of her cleaning, I've watched my godson pour juice on the floor after she mopped. So, yeah, long as they're awake. But she would still manage to cook something. So, but some of them times she couldn't. Her husband wouldn't be like, "Oh, you ain't cooked today." He walk in, see the kids going crazy. Babe, I'm gonna go ahead and cook. But there's children there.
Mm-hmm.
Now the people who married, and it's one of y'all at home, the man or woman, I don't care. If you've been here all day, all day.
Them pots better
All
be hot
day.
when I get there.
I better smell pine sol, fabuloso, something, potpourri, something. Because you ain't,
No,
all
he's
we,
some pots. He wants some
listen,
food.
all we had was the cat, and she's a cat. And I'm the only one who worked for us for a couple of them years. Why? And then you don't ask the person who just came home what we eating.
Mhm.
And men and or women, I'm gonna say this to you: if you got somebody who works and you're the person who stays at home, don't ask them that as soon as they get to know what we eating or are you gonna cook. Definitely
I
don't
think that's
ask if
a
you ain't even cleaned the kitchen.
I think that's a form of poor communication, if you ask me.
Mm, you've been hungry all day and you knew you was hungry before I got here, so you really ain't gonna eat all day till I get home. That's just no. It's the form of some. We, you know what? We did an episode of expectations and standards. That was the last episode. But let me tell you something. Don't expect me if you was here first. You've been here hours before me. Do not ask me what we eating when I get home. You wasn't hungry before I came. At least cook you something to eat. It's um. Then we're gonna go to. I'm gonna switch this because since we in that area, the wifey and the hubby stuff. A lot of people like to display what they do in a relationship while they're in a relationship on the social medias. I do this, I cook, I clean, and I'm wifey, da da da. But ain't nobody asked you to marry them. So basically, you're just putting on a show of what you can do and letting people know what they can get from you without doing anything.
Commitment. Correct.
Ah, ah. Gloria, we're having some trouble hearing you a little bit. So, well, I wasn't, but
How about now? Can you hear me?
Yes, much better.
okay.
Thank you. Okay.
And I say when I want to say women do it a lot more than men because I don't really I see men do it in the form of money. I can buy.
Mhm.
Please don't refer to your woman as a bitch either. That's just a segue. But this is a post I seen. I can buy my bitch anything she want. You have to buy some teeth if you call me that and we together. I'm just saying. Who you? I'm your. We don't have no dog. I'm just saying. You're right.
I mean, but he said though, one guy told me, he said, "Don't y'all call yourselves that? So how come I can't?" I'm like, I don't call
Oh,
myself
my
that.
There we
stepdad.
go.
Right.
I
That's what
know.
society
I
calls
think they
it.
get it twisted because some women do reference themselves as that, but
Exactly.
we all don't. So
That's nah, cause I be like, who you? Fifth Ward to come out real fast. You know what I'm saying? You know, Fifth Ward to me, she's been delivered though. She don't act like that. I'm just saying. I did grow up off Hamilton. Anyway, we're not gonna.
I
Not
mean, I
gonna.
think that point goes to the whole like cuffing season thing, and I know we're
Mm,
probably going to get into that too. But like, people be coming out with these like pick me little social media posts
yes.
to try and get a relationship, and
mhm.
most of the time it's I know how to cook and clean. Like
And
I'm
I,
35 years old, but I know how to do this, so you should marry me. And it's like,
I paid my bills on time post.
right, like
Everybody do
I
because
take care of
everybody
my
got
kids.
auto pay. I'm just, I'm just saying. That's not. And then men do. Yeah, you're right. Men do the pick me post with the. I bought my girl this, that, and the third. And girls, I do all this. I don't understand why y'all all in my inbox.
I don't even, and how is it? I
You know?
agree that it's a pick me post, but if you're already in a relationship, that stuff
Why are you
don't even really
broadcasting
need
it?
to be on social media because you're
Love that.
throwing out there the type of person that you are, and this is
Hmm.
what I can do, this is what I can provide. But, sir, you're taken. So keep that
Sir
on
and
Don't
that.
give to
sir and
nobody but
ma'am.
the person you with.
Right. But
Right.
even if they're not taken, they can say those things. Like, if you were my girl, I would do this and this. But because she's a different girl, right? What if she doesn't like the things that you have done for your previous ones? So you
Right.
telling me I'm gonna get this cookie cutter situation,
Come on, somebody.
right? So if I get
Mhm.
you, I can expect these things from you because this is what you do.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And don't
Yeah.
advertise stuff you're not willing to do because men and women will both get mad at why did you expect that from me? Well,
Exactly.
you put an ad out on Facebook that you cook and clean and fix meals at 4 a.m. You put an ad out. It's basically an ad. It's
Yeah.
free ad
So,
space. That's what you did.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now you
and the
mad.
reason people do that too is like they put up that kind of stuff, but they don't mention like I do this and this, but by the way, I suck at communicating, or I do this, this, and this, but by the way, I still like talk to my ex.
Mhm. I might hit a girl upside her head when I don't get my way. They don't. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
They miss that part. You know, it's like medications. This medication is good for your sinuses, but it may have anal bleeding. But you didn't hear that part because they say that real fast, but they don't tell you at all. You got to look it up.
Mhm.
You know, you got to check. What Glory? What they call it? They when we was talking. You got to check their whole facts.
Yeah.
They may not be a hoe, but you got to check their whole facts report. Like
Mhm.
And
Like
she's.
your girl Drea said, you can not be a hoe no more. You know, you can be reborn.
yeah,
She
your
said,
holiness could be deleted. Get
there you
out of
go.
here, lady.
No, you're
Get
right.
out of here, lady. Get
Mhm.
out of here.
But I'm clean.
Hey, hey. Me and Nisi is clean. We got baptized last year before last. We clean for real.
Hey,
We
why when
did.
you go get your oil changed, they reset the oil.
Yeah, reset your light. Yeah, you
Yeah,
back
there
at
you go.
100%, eh?
Reset her real quick.
The
Reset.
chicken that ain't on no more. I fixed it. I fixed it.
That's right.
So
But
go
to
ahead.
kind of speak to your point about the difference between girlfriend, wife, boyfriend, husband, me personally, I feel it kind of boils down to the mental aspect of it. When you're someone's girlfriend, I feel like you should not wake up mentally thinking, or that shouldn't be the first thing on your mind, what you're going to do to better this individual or to help them. I feel like it should remain focused on yourself. And should you have time, or should you, make time to kind of discover new things and help them with business ventures if they're a business person, or, help add structure to their life, things like that. I feel like you should do that. But once you kind of matriculate into the relationship part and you guys are husband and wife, I feel like that should be a part of your daily thought process. How am I bettering myself? How am I bettering everybody around me? Which would be first your wife, and then if you have kids, your children, and then everybody else is along the line. But it's really the mental part of it for me is, am I giving that much mental energy to someone that hasn't earned that place in my life yet? Because
Somebody
Mm-hmm.
that's really what it boils down to in my mind, is because of the fact of the matter is you can't get that back.
mm,
And
Mm-hmm.
that's the hardest part about when if it goes sour and now you're left with all these thoughts and things that you wanted to do for this person that you shouldn't even been thinking in the first place.
you shouldn't have did because you
I,
already did.
I think that's interesting, Elgin. I actually like that point. But it's
Me too.
interesting because I've heard let's say example a guy say, I knew she was the one because she helped me get to where I am. She saw parts of my business that needed help and she
Mhm.
helped me. But if you're saying we're not gonna help except when we have time, how do you get that statement? You know what I mean? Like women are, if we're taking that example, they're taking it and saying, hey, he liked that about his wife. His wife to be helped him with his business. So I'm going to do that so I can be someone's wife. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We get
Yeah,
that idea and we see it and we go for it because of what we've seen work for others.
correct. But to your point where you said, she helped me with my business. I'm not saying that you can't help somebody. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like if you're committed to them, you're in a committed relationship, boyfriend, girlfriend, and is working towards marriage, you you could do those things, but it should not be a top priority. Some
Mm-hmm.
people forget about themselves when they're in a relationship, and I feel
Yep.
like that
Yep.
that that's the biggest issue nowadays is people get with somebody, and let's just say they stop working out. So they get with somebody, they start gaining weight. okay, they had a passion of writing or creating, and now their free time they're giving it to this person. So now they're
Mhm.
gaining weight. Now they don't have life balance because they're not doing what balances them out with their free time. And
Mhm.
then let's say, they change their hours on their job to be more available for this person. So now they're making less money,
Yeah, I know
they
what you
gain
meant.
weight, they,
You
you can't
losing.
keep losing yourself when you're with
Right.
somebody.
Right.
Mhm.
You have to remain focused on yourself, even in marriage.
Segue.
This is
Go
true.
ahead and check out that Queens Round Podcast episode 2, the aftermath of losing yourself. Because what he talking about right now is what happens before you lose yourself. I'm
Correct.
just letting you know that's how it starts.
But to your point, Glow, you can help someone out. But for me, I found out that the mental capacity that it takes inside of marriage to balance yourself, what you have going on, but also make your wife or your husband a main priority is very, very much a crucial thing. And I feel like you should not put yourself in that space mentally if you have not received the commitment or the ask, because some people do it before they even get the ask.
That's
And
Right. Right.
you can help someone business out, but it should not be your main priority. They should be
Mhm.
showing you that business is their main priority, and you're just helping out. Because what
right.
happens sometimes, and I see it on social media right now, the girlfriend is posting more about the business than the boyfriend who the business name is in. I'm
Somebody
like,
preach
this your
today.
business. Why
Preach
is she
today.
posting? Every other post she has is about the business. Just for instance, this person has a lawn care business, and she's posting and posting and posting, and then of course there's some stuff about them. But then I follow him as well, and I'm like, dang, bro, you don't even promote your own business. Like, I done seen 10 posts from your lady, you know. But for
You
me,
got a free secretary.
that's not that's not that's not how it should be. You know,
Mm.
there's there's a thing where you can help somebody, but you shouldn't be carrying them. Like,
Come on, somebody.
Mm.
you can't
Mm.
And I,
carry anybody.
That's it.
Even in marriage, you can't carry people. But at the
oh
same time,
Jesus, say that part one more time. I'm just sorry. Say that
even in
part one more
marriage,
time.
you can't
Uh huh.
carry people.
Uh huh.
But at the same time, there is a way to add value to your boyfriend's life or your girlfriend's life without, like I said, carrying them. You can add value on your free time. If you got free time and you done all of the things that you need to do, and you're at the end of your day and you got like 45 minutes left, and you say, "Oh, well, let me go on, on Amazon and look up something for, for Bay's business. Maybe they're doing something and they need a new camera or they need, tripod or whatever. Okay, let me spend this last 45 minutes of my day looking up something for them. But you better be rest assured that I done did everything I need to do first for me
Mm-hmm.
when you're in that capacity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you get married, then yeah, you can kind of blur the lines a little bit. You can kind of mix and match and say, okay, I got an hour left in my day. Let me get 30 minutes to my husband and I'm going to take 30 minutes to myself.
Right.
But until you get to that place, you always need to put yourself first and you give them what you have left in that capacity. I'm not saying wholeheartedly in a whole relationship, but specifically about what you're talking about a business and someone helping a female helping a male's business grow. You should not put his business before your own personal business. I just want to make that clear because somebody may pull a clip and be like, "Oh, he said I don't know." We're talking specifically
Be like
about a female putting a male's business before her own, and you shouldn't do that ever.
I think Chris and Glow had a point. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, because like you were saying, like you can't carry people, like even in marriage. Like the people that you mentioned that they found like she was the one because she did this for me. That's kind of feel like carrying to me. It's like you're basing your entire relationship on that. Now I
On
don't
Mm-hmm.
that
know these
one thing.
people, and I can't like say that's the case for sure, but not. But you know, it has to be more than that. Like you have to have that relationship already in place before you start. Like, okay, I'm gonna help their business. I'm gonna do this and that, and then I'm gonna show them like this is how I'm gonna show them I'm the one. Like you have to have everything else in place before that, and then everything else just kind of falls in line.
Because what if one day you can't do that no more? That's
Right.
Right.
all you brought to the table. Now you're null and void to them.
Right.
Exactly.
Glow, you
That-
had a point. You had your hand raised at the foot.
No, I said that was the point. I wrote it down. Someone versus carrying someone. That was
Listen, it's a lot of stuff being said.
At the end of the day, if you're losing yourself
hmm
in a relationship,
hmm
you're doing too
Relationship
much.
ain't good for you.
Yeah. And then you said mentally, also financially too, because a lot of people.
I ain't even want to segue into that, but go ahead.
I was gonna go there.
you know,
I was gonna go there, but
I'm just talking
that's
about
where we
here
going.
because if here ain't right, then that's when you get to that mental part because you ain't thinking with this. You just thinking with the heart. And you
Yeah.
can't do that.
Yeah.
Or they thinking with other stuff too. Because a lot
Well,
of people think because this person make me feel like based off one thing. That's what I wrote at the top. Because based off one thing, y'all need to be together. And moving past the homosexual part and the cover season part, based off this one thing, people are moving in together. Like I'm not anti moving in with somebody before marriage. I'm me anti moving in with somebody before marriage because I don't want my whole like Elgin was saying, my whole existence to be wrapped up in you. I need a minute. Okay, it's sometimes I don't come out my room. It don't mean I'm mad at nobody. I say it all the
I need
time.
my time.
I want to be bothered when I feel like being bothered, and I don't mean like other people are bothering me. And I mean in like um people say they're introvert and extrovert. I'm like an ambivert. It's the equal amount of time I spend socializing. I need that much time by myself. I need to recharge. I need to think. I need to focus. Leave me alone. But don't take it personal. Just leave me alone. That's it. And then when I come out, I'm happy and smiling. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with me. But to get back to my point real quick, based off one thing, oh, we need to live together. You know what? She makes sandwiches real good. That's it. That's so y'all need to live together now because she makes sandwiches real good. Like, what's up, mama? Everybody say hi to my mama. She's in the comments right now watching live. Hey, mama.
hey, mama.
What's up, mama?
I'm gonna be myself because she raised me, so she ain't gonna be surprised if nothing that happens. Just to let y'all know.
So, Mia, did Nisi finish her point about the financial part? I was kind of I wanted to see where she was with that.
Oh, so
Yeah, great.
what I was saying is that you know, kind of piggybacking on what Elgin was saying, as far as you know, going in mentally giving too much, it can also happen financially. And he said something about sometimes people don't even ask, and we just do it. We just automatically like. You know, you get into a relationship and something's going on with the person that you're with, and you just automatically jump in. And then I'm speaking from experience because I've been there before. I've learned from it where it was every time something came up, it was like, okay, I'm jumping in. Oh, I got you. You know, I'm just to the point where it's like I lost. I can't even say how much financially I gave into that relationship because I gave so much. But when I go back and I learn from that experience, because I can't put all of it on him, when I go back and I think about it and I look at it, a lot of the times it was pretty much me that was offering it and just doing things. But I lost a lot financially. And then there were times where it was, it was just acts because you always do it. So why wouldn't I ask you? You always got it. So why wouldn't I? And I know you're going to give it to me. So why not ask? So that's another thing. If you're giving too much financially in a relationship state, you're doing too much.
Listen.
That hero complex, and a lot of guys fall into it. Like I did it myself. Like anytime, like some problem come up, you just got to be right there, and like you got to be a hero. You got to fix it.
Yeah,
playing God.
The savior complex is what my therapist calls it.
What does your therapist call it?
The savior complex.
Savior complex.
My mama just wrote, and that's where the assumption comes from. And when both of y'all was talking, I wrote down fixer upper because men like to be the hero. And I said on another podcast, women We the fixer-uppers. We like HGTV, and we see a man or somebody we want to be with. Oh, I'm going to put him back together, and he's going to be perfect for me. And then he's going to be perfect for me. I'm going to move him in here with me. This is where the playtime is over part comes in, the playing house. I'm going to move him in here with me, and I'm going to show him this is what we do in the household, and this how. No, that's what he got a mama for, or somebody else who raised him. My mama said, a rescue from the shelter. We rescue. That's how we do it. We go to the shelter, the world, to get somebody, and we bring them in the house and we adopt them. Then we got to potty train them. You got to feed them. You got to get. That's what we think we have to do. You don't have to. Don't do that. Elder figure what I'm.
The church
sorry.
finger went up.
I'm sorry.
My mom said I've had to send one or two back. This is my mama, y'all. Told you. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead, Elgin. What was you saying?
To kind of speak to your point, about the shelter and stuff like that. This is kind of off topic of what we're talking about, but I was discussing something with someone else, a friend of mine, and I said that I asked her outright. I said, "So, what are 3 things like a man has to have to even get your phone number? Like, what are 3 things? And she was kind of taken back by it, and I was like, as an individual, I feel like there's certain simple things in life that you should be able to talk about yourself
Right.
that will be able to maybe not attract somebody to you, but to even give them the opportunity to be like, okay, you got a nice figure, whatever, let's see what's past it, and to kind of summarize the conversation, I was just basically saying, like, if people did their research or just ask more questions without just assuming and just going with what they see on social media, you will weed out a lot of people,
Yes.
Do you have a career? Do you have a 9 to 5? Okay, that's one thing. You gotta have that. Now you gotta have all these things that I'm gonna go over, but you gotta have that. Okay, do you have a side hustle? Do you have a passion or inspiration that can turn into a side hustle? Have you done it before? Do you have a healthy lifestyle? Like, do you eat well? Do you drink water? Like, do you remotely work out every once in a while? You know what I'm saying? Like, these are
I'm
things
mad.
that are
Eggs. People, do they
now in
drink water?
2020 should be a necessity, because if you don't, then I know we're gonna have an issue off rip. Like, because when I say I'm about to go to the gym and it's 10:30 at night, but you want to talk on the phone, and I can't talk on the phone because I'm focusing on the gym and I like my music and I like to work out. Now you mad with me.
Well, when you
But we
were
just,
supposed to
but
say,
we,
I'll meet you at the gym. We can work out together. If you want to talk to me at the gym.
but people don't be with
Even
that.
with that,
They don't even
Think about that.
appreciate that. They don't appreciate that. To me, it's a form of intimacy. I'm working out in my space. What I do now, I'm inviting you into my space. So now
Yeah.
we in it together, and
It's the oil.
you gotta really, like, it's bare minimums out here. Yeah, I guess you could say. Like, these are the things that, like, you gotta
The at
have.
leases. We call them, me
Yeah,
and Gloria call them the at leases.
necessities. Like, this is a necessity. If you don't got these things, then okay, you don't need my phone number. You can follow me on social media. You can like my pictures all you want, but that's all you're gonna get. Like, you
Period.
don't need my phone number.
Point blank, comma,
And if I want to
exclamation point.
respond, I respond. But if not, I'm gonna leave you on red, because 2020 social media tells you when somebody read something.
Leave them
So
on red all
you gonna get left
2020.
on red. You gonna get left on red because
All
you're not even taking care of yourself. You're not taking
2020.
care of
Let me tell
yourself.
you something.
I
Let me tell
have
you
a
something.
feeling he petty.
I wasn't gonna tell nobody this, but me and one couple of my friends, one of them is on here. Everything that Elgin is saying, we had a conversation about that, and we was like, "That's gonna be the motto for 2020. Leave them on red all 2020." I saw it, but I know you don't think I'm supposed to respond to that. Like, I got a message the other day. This is a segue, but this is my show. I got a message on Thanksgiving. I'm in there with my family. It's a DM through my Instagram. I usually don't look at those, but let me look at it because I'm promoting ad space and all that stuff. So I look at it. I'm not taking it back at the fact that you look as old as my father. I'm not even looking at none of that. The profile picture don't match the screen what your screen name is because you too old for the screen name. That's what's upsetting me is, hey, you, the beautiful. I'm like, why ain't there a capital
Okay,
letter at the
Shakespeare.
beginning of this sentence? Where's the commas at? That is a question. Where's the question mark? I'm bad at other stuff because all that other stuff, you might can get a chance with me if you that old. You can't because you can't be that close. You can't be friends with my daddy. But I'm looking at. I'm upset by the punctuation because I'm reading out loud and I'm pausing. I took it back to Miss Barnett, 5th grade. I'm pausing where it needed to be a period. She said, wherever you need to take a breath, that should be a period. I'm reading it like that, like, sir, you too old to, you know what? Blocked. Blocked because of your punctuation. See, I'll give you a chance with the physical but that mental is all wrong. You can't spell. Like,
It start up here though.
I, you didn't
It
think,
start
you
up
didn't
here.
proofread this before you
Everything
sent
start up
this to
here.
me? You didn't proofread this before you sent it to me. You thought that was gonna get me. That's an insult to
Wait a
me.
minute. You shouldn't have to proofread a message. Come on, girl. You can't put them 2 cents. Bye. Bye.
Mm-mm.
Red. All 2020, all 21, and all the rest of your life. Red. Red.
Okay,
Now this one I
Red.
responded to. This one I responded to. I said, "Be blocked and be blessed." Delete, block. Because
Hey, that goes on the shirt right there. Be blocked and be blessed. I'm
you know
trying to
what?
Write it down.
that's a shirt
Be
idea.
blocked,
I'm
Be
giving a little free
blocked, be
game.
blessed.
Be blocked and be
be
blessed
blessed.
with the
Sure
new
is
sign.
right now, right now.
But see, just like how Chris said his live-in was really short, these messages are getting shorter and shorter. You know, her punctuation was interesting. I had a guy hit me up and said, "What's your number?" I said,
Hi,
Hello.
I said,
I
How you
know,
doing?
right?
good morning.
How
like,
you doing today?
like, I mean, that was right into the point, right? And I was like, well, I asked him, I was like, does that work for you? Like, do women really give you your number?
Y'all don't understand her DMs. We got to do a whole episode on her DMs. They're crazy. Like,
The,
Wow.
you got to tell a
You
story about
challenged
the
him
one.
out the gate. You said, does that work for you? I love it.
I have to ask because it took me aback. Like, you came in with so much confidence, right? What's your number?
Loud and wrong.
Number is 3. Out of here.
Wow. What was
What's
Gloria,
your
his
you got
number?
to tell
response?
them real
I just
quick.
need to know.
Gloria, I caught her. Hold on, y'all. I want Gloria to tell this one story real quick.
Oh my.
What happened when the dude wrote you and said, "Damn, you thick"? What
You know
happened,
what?
Glow? That's my favorite. One of my favorite DMs. But you say, Glow?
Should have hit him with one of them.
No,
I,
that's not what she
no,
did. She did something better.
I feel like I said, and so is your mama. But
No,
you
no, no,
know,
no. She said, "And so are you."
oh yeah, ooh, that one.
She sent me a screenshot. I said, "Wait, what?" She said, "And so are you."
But you
And
know,
he
like,
didn't even
like
catch it.
you say, out the gate, like it's okay. I understand. I know what I look like. You know, it's not a problem looking at what you look like, right? You can say that. You know, you have a nice shape, you got a nice this. I get that. But right out the gate, damn, you think. So are you. Have a nice day. It's just like I don't know. It took me. I guess it was like the 5th message that day. So I just I had enough. Sure, you can play with it, right? You can entertain it, but I was like, not today. I don't feel like it.
Here's the thing that gets me though. Somebody daughter, not Samuel's and Sandra's daughter though. Somebody's daughter go accept that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And 3
So you
weeks
go over
later,
there with that.
Yeah.
they're gonna be living together. This is what I'm saying when I tell people it's like, because my cousin Marissa, she's gonna be on a podcast later. I love her. She said I was telling her about this episode because she sent me a post the other night that could be an episode, and she was like, and not everybody has to be married. But I understand that everybody do what they want to do, call it what they want to call it. I ain't doing it because you got to go home. Everybody know how I feel about that. But my issue is I'm on season 6, episode 7 of your relationship on my timeline. And every 90 days, you have a new tenant in your house. And it's not even a tenant, they're basically squatting. Now you got an attitude.
My
Yeah,
God.
I'm tired of my
long-term
heart being
business.
broken.
It's a
So stop
long-term
handing people
business.
the hammer. Like, you
These
tired of your
short-term
heart being
leases.
broken, stop handing people the hammer. Cut it out. Why
They
do
out
people
here
keep doing me like
in
this?
Airbnb relationships and stuff.
There you go. You gotta pay for it. They
Stay
ain't
for the week.
They got to pay for the Airbnb though. This is a squatter.
paying. I
No,
said long-term
the person
visitor.
you talking about is the Airbnb host. They in Airbnb relationship. People just coming in and out. They the
Yeah.
host. They always paying.
There you go.
You
I'm
said it's
such a
your
good
cousin,
woman.
Samia?
Huh?
You said
My
that's your
cousin
cousin?
Marissa sent me a post about something like that. My cousin
Oh, okay.
Marissa, she don't necessarily believe that you need to be married. If you're in a committed relationship and y'all live together, cool. Another topic, issue I want to go to because we got 30 minutes left, y'all. Real quick with this, with the playtime is over. The aspect part of this, because we talked about the cuffing season and the homosexual is once this person is in your house,
Mm-hmm.
okay, they're in there now. We do not care about y'all day to day. Because all you doing is advertising what you're doing for that person. So you're gonna get people who was going to wait for that to be over with so they can do that to you next. Then you're also going to get folk on the other side. They're gonna see everything you're doing, but they also gonna see everything you're not doing for that person. So they're just gonna try to step in and do that one thing that you ain't doing because you put everything you do on the internet. Hold on, y'all. I got tissue. Hold on.
But see, it's like that's what it all boils down to is like that whole like social media. You got to stunt for social media,
Mm-hmm.
and like if people could just get away from that, we would have so much healthier relationships because you'd actually have to sit there and talk to the person and figure out you don't like them and you shouldn't probably move in with them.
Nobody, they don't want to hear that though. They want to listen to the people that agreeing with what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. And they
Like I'm
want to
gonna
get the
read.
clout.
I I usually don't comment on ignorant stuff people say. Okay, I usually don't, but it's been on my timeline because said people have broken up. And like I said, it's season 7, episode 6. I'm in there just watching it. I ain't commenting. I ain't liking it. I'm just reading it. This better than TV. They going back and forth, dropping subliminal messages at one another, telling on themselves. Well, one of them is telling on
Mm,
themselves with the other one. You know, the other person
sheesh.
can see it. One of the people going live, the other person go live. They in each other's live. I'm like, y'all gonna be right back homosexual in a couple of weeks. But I'm gonna read. I'm gonna
Yeah.
read one the homosexual in question, not the Airbnb host. I'm gonna read something the homosexual said. The homosexual The homosexual posted a meme, and it said super big facts. And I swear this is something they'll and put women in parentheses never be able to comprehend. Now Gloria know, because we went to the same high school. We went to Northern High School, okay? And on
Nice.
the first floor of the high school
Nice.
is the gym, shop, band, the office, the special classes, and the special classes. And like one or two, like home ec and all that. It was only a couple of those on the first floor. This particular person stayed on the first floor all day. Like we went when the bell rung, we went to a different class. They didn't. The only time we saw them was like in gym or something.
They stationary. They stay still. They not
Okay.
mobile. They don't get to move.
Right. This is this person. So that I'm insulted already. The post says, "Me saying I trust you is worth more than me saying I love you. I can love you, but not trust you." Now, I made a comment. It was a paragraph because I could not help it. I literally because
Start up here.
I was gonna
How you
put
understand love that way, but you don't trust them?
I put some other
Right.
stuff there.
What is love without trust?
I put some other stuff there, but the Holy Spirit said delete it, and I wrote this instead. I got periods and punctuation and everything. But I said, I ain't never been able to love someone I can't trust. Trust is one of the fundamental pieces in the foundation of a relationship. In order to love someone, you have to open up, be honest and vulnerable. I am not doing none of the aforementioned things if I don't trust you. If we can't do that, then we'll never be able to make it to the point of being in love because love is a choice. Now, my cousin made the point of I know people who got cheated on, but they still love that person. But I said they trusted them first though, and then they found out they got cheated on. So now you love someone you don't trust, but you trusted them before you got cheated on. I know because I've been cheated on. But once I started to not trust the person, I started falling out of love. So that's what the part I was just in a relationship because we've been together for almost a decade. So what do I do without you?
Hmm.
But I've been delivered because God is good. Just said me. I was offended because the post could make sense on some aspects. I was offended by the poster because I know you were homosexual. You don't have nowhere to live. Talk about trust. Do you have an address? Do you have mail that can be sent to you? Then set out. Trust. Trust the job application. You understand me?
Social media.
Just
Yeah, posting to be seen is what I be telling people. You just want to be seen. You ain't got no depth. You don't really got no content. You just putting it
Right.
out there just
You
just
trying
to
to
get
sound
the
deep and just
you trying to sound deep
fishing
and
for clout.
you is this deep. Can you is this deep? It's do you see it?
yeah,
It's that deep.
barely.
But
Barely.
it also sounds like there's a message that this person is trying to send because you
Hmm.
said that the other person is posting, so they just going back and forth with each other on social
Yeah,
media, which is just so immature and just
You don't
dumb.
have the time to be talking about who you don't trust. This my house. Trust the bill. Trust the electricity. Trust that water department. Trust consumers energy. Okay,
I'm
you don't
sorry.
put on none of this. So
I'm
trust
sorry,
that.
but nothing that goes on in your house should go on social media.
So
Agreed,
I'm sorry.
a
I'm
hundred
sorry.
percent.
If y'all sleeping in a separate room for a week because y'all ain't figured it out yet, the world shouldn't know that.
Hmm.
child,
What
I
the
got
world need to know
folks.
that?
That's what tears up the relationship, adding social
Correct.
media to it.
Because now you got 500 friends and 500 followers that have an opportunity to grace their opinion into your relationship when it should never even been there.
Steven, season
Hmm.
7, episode 6.
For what?
Cause I'm the type of person I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna look at it. I'm not gonna say nothing to y'all. But at a certain point, I'm like, I don't even want to look at it no more. Like, I delete you. Why is this on my timeline? I just want to see this business post, my business podcast. It's a podcast. This I'm shouting out face. That's what I want to see on my
Hey,
timeline.
Facebook got a new feature where you can snooze people for like 60 days.
Yes, you can. You can
You can
Really?
unfollow.
snooze.
You can unfollow them.
That that top right, them little three bubbles, boy, that'll get you everything you need.
Trying to
Okay.
But
oh, and you
Be
can
out of here
actually
with that
go to your
negativity,
friends.
okay?
You can
I
go to your
normally just
friends
Get
too
out of
unfollow
and
there.
them.
click take a break, and it'll take a break from them for 30 days. They don't even know. You'll just see less of them. I do it all the time. Take a break. I don't have a lot of it be family
Yeah.
though. Some of it be family. I'm like, listen.
or like you said though, you're still you can still be friends with them on there, but unfollow their feed. So you
Yeah,
won't
that's
be
what I
broke,
do.
but they won't be unfriended, you know?
Hmm. That's my go-to. I don't do the take a what I didn't even know about the whole take a break
Right.
thing,
Take a break
but
for 30
I
days.
unfollow. That way it's no, it's not you. It's
It's
me and
me.
my energy.
My
Yeah.
And my
Without
energy.
allowing my
You know,
space.
I need to protect my energy, my space, my mental state.
Yeah.
So we're still friends, but I don't want to see none of that.
Keep that
Mm-mm,
over there.
mm-mm. It's you.
Choo choo.
It is you. It's you and me. It's the both of us. I don't want to read it, and you keep posting it. And I like one of my cousins.
Just
I love her to death. She's one of my favorite cousins. Delete. You deleted me on Facebook. You know me in real life. Like, why does that? We was cousins before Facebook even came out.
Hmm.
So we gonna be cousins. You don't talk to me on a regular basis, so Facebook is not really upsetting you. I mean, you gonna buy some of my merch? Queen's Room on Teespring, y'all. You gonna buy some of my merch, um,
Thank you.
or something? You gonna share one of my posts or something? You gonna hop on the podcast? Oh, okay, no, then bye. I mean,
We ain't got nothing to talk about. We
we're
got nothing to
not.
talk about.
You'll be alright. You'll be alright. You know what I'm saying? I
I be
see you
telling
here and
family members that all the time. Like we don't got nothing to talk about.
there.
Like,
We don't.
like what? I
My mama said they could be family. There. Listen, huh? I love you. You got my phone number though, right? Like you know where I live. This Flint, you know where I live. You done been over here before. You want to see me so bad.
Some of them be having a spare key and still don't pull up and talk.
We have to do a family episode because listen, it's a
Let me
lot.
know when. Let me know when.
'Cause,
Mhm.
whew, child. Okay, hold on, y'all. I got some tissue again. I had to do it this way, y'all. When you see this, is me getting my nose together, have sinus issues because I realized on the last episode, all you seen was me putting the computer up and you heard sniffing. So I don't want nobody out here thinking I'm on the powder and that's not it. I'm on sinuses. Okay, I'm on allergies.
You said I'm not on the
Okay,
powder.
it's one of
Listen,
Sugar
these.
booger.
okay.
It's it's one of these everywhere in my room, in the kitchen, in the living room, in the basement, in the car, by my station at work. It's because I need this. Okay. I live in Michigan. It was 28 degrees this morning and it's 50 degrees right now. I need this. Don't judge me.
Oh my
So
God.
that's what's
So
happening.
can I pose a question to everyone?
Hmm. Go ahead.
So, in you guys' opinion, what is a respectable time frame to live with someone before marriage if there's already an engagement ring on the finger? Per the engagement ring on the finger, meaning we headed that way. What is the acceptable time range in you guys' opinion?
Hmm.
I'm just sticking to
Me
my original
personally,
guns and say the week
oh,
of the wedding. Like if we get married on Friday, you can move your stuff in on Tuesday because yeah,
you said the week
Tuesday.
of the wedding?
yeah,
I'm kind of here for that. Like I can vibe with that. In today's
because I mean
society,
yeah,
I didn't always think that way, but I can kind of vibe with that.
The week
like
of the wedding.
see this is how I was before, and I had that time period where it's like I feel like I got to compromise here, so it happened, and a week later I'm getting my own place, so just stick to my original guns. Like this is just how I roll. So
Shameless plug. My mama said that people need a metamorphosis. Go ahead right now, everybody who's going to be watching this and watching this right now, and look up that metamorphosis on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com and Lulu.com. It's a book of poetry by yours truly and the best friend over there. It's called Metamorphosis. Okay, it's about the life cycle of a relationship based on the life cycle of a butterfly. Thank you, Mama, because I almost forgot. My mama said 1 year.
You should put it on the link or in the comments, put the link in there.
Oh, I'm gonna put it in
My
the
mama
description
said
because
one
right now
year.
we live, so I
Yeah.
gotta.
So,
But
so, so
your
what do
mom
you?
said 1 year, but you're engaged. I don't know.
So you're
Like,
engaged for 1 year then? Is that kind of what she's asking? I mean,
So your
saying?
engagement is for 1 year? Some
no,
people is. Some people's engagement is 1 year. You get engaged and then, like a year later, that's when you set your marriage date. So I could see that.
Mhm.
So as an event planner as well, three queens event planning. As an event planner as well, what we usually tell people though is like when we're planning their wedding, when as soon as they get engaged and they let us know how long y'all been engaged, or we just got engaged. I tell people to stay engaged for as long as it takes to plan your wedding, then get married. But your question was, what was your question? Because let me make sure I'm not confused. Y'all already engaged.
Yes. After the engagement ring gets on the finger, what's a respectable, reasonable time frame to live together up until you become married? Now,
I got
Chris
some
already
follow.
said a week of. Chris said a
I got
week
the week
of,
of the
so
wedding. I
he
got
ain't with
some.
he ain't with
I,
Are
no
are
shenanigans
y'all buying a
beforehand.
house, or are you moving into each other's places? And do you have an apartment, or do you have a house? Because if we have a house,
Okay,
no,
just so for the context of the question, let's just say the man already has a house, you have an apartment,
mm,
and what's the reasonable time frame for you to move in that house with him after your engagement, heading towards marriage?
Nisa, you go. Gloria, you go. I gotta think about this.
I mean, I think that at the end of the day, if you're at the point of engagement, you shouldn't have to wait too long because you both already know, like, like if you do it the right way, before a man proposes to a woman, he knows if she's going to say yes or no. He knows. He
He
knows if she's
should.
going to say yes or no. He should know. Okay. He should
Should
know.
not be a
So if
question
you,
about it. Correct.
it should not be a question because you already know what page you're on and you guys are already, you put in the work, you talked about it, communication should have been there, everything. So I don't think that you should have to wait that long. I think that, let me see, maybe between 3 to 6 months, maybe not even that.
Okay. My
I'll
mom
say
said,
I'll say at least 3 months to
Hold
move
on,
in
So 3 months
together.
before the marriage.
that's what I was asking. Before the marriage or after the ring? The ring.
After the engagement,
engagement.
after the engagement, at least 3 months after the engagement, you could move in together. But I do also think that it is very important before you do any of that that you seek marital counseling. I think that that's important.
Gloria, you go. I still ain't ready. Go ahead.
Um, I guess I kind of agree. Like I feel like you move in when you're comfortable, and once the ring's on the finger, I really feel like y'all already almost there, right? The next step is marriage. So before that is moving in. Even though I had this idea of once I'm engaged and married that we would move into the home together, you know, like our wedding night is our first night in our home. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how that works
I can dig
specifically.
that.
I don't want to be moving, during my wedding week. But
Right. I want to be on honeymoon.
yeah, so maybe the stuff is moved in, but we don't actually live in it together until right after the wedding. Like it's our new marriage, new home. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a well thought out relationship and plan that you're speaking of.
Yeah, pretty
It's the
much.
dream,
Okay. I
It
think
ain't a
me and my
dream.
mama ready
It
now.
can really be a reality if two people live in separate places.
Yeah.
But the hobo thing is throwing everything off. But we ain't gonna go back to that.
Oh, of course,
Right.
of course.
My mom said hers, she said mine wasn't. I'm being a hypocrite. But she said our leases ended at the same time though. So
Planned out. Planned
plan to
out.
the you know what I'm saying? And she also said you find out a lot about people during the wedding planning process. I'm trying sometimes crazy doesn't come out until then.
Bridezilla, groomzilla.
I say you seen it. I seen the
he
show. Come on.
I'm sure he knows because he's a chef. Sometimes it don't be bridezilla, it can be groomzilla, it can be bride, mother of the bridezilla,
Yeah,
father of the
family.
these
Yeah.
family
In-lawzilla. They need that show, boy.
the
In-laws.
families. The
I'm like, this not even your day,
family.
ma'am. I don't know. Why are you here? I don't even want to talk to you.
I'm
I don't
paying
want to
for it,
talk to
sir,
you.
because I'm paying for it.
My mama said, y'all can everybody has the ability to look at the comments, but I'm gonna just read what my mama just said. She said, I need to know what you're doing in the kitchen, and I need to know you know how to brush your teeth first.
I know that's facts.
I mean, you're not engaged to him unless you know that stuff, right?
And
That's
by
kind
that,
of
I
like
don't
No,
mean
no,
no, no, no,
not
no, no, no. That's not what
necessarily.
she means. She don't mean like brushing your teeth. She mean like what the sink look like after you get done. Do you rinse that sink
Oh,
off? Do you wipe that hair?
Yeah,
And men, y'all like to leave hair in the counter. Do you get that together?
But you peep that on an overnight. Like if you stay
yeah.
overnight, like
Now
you peep
here's
that on an overnight.
no, 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 no.
the
Sometimes,
question before I answer that
sometimes
question.
you need more time because a person can clean up after themselves. It's one night, so they're gonna show you what they. But if it's multiple days, months, that's when you really get to know how a person lives. I need to know that you ain't gonna be on this PS5 all day, every day, and that's all that you do.
hold on now. Hold
Hey,
on.
hey, 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 speak on it. Speak on
Getting
it.
into heresy for a
I
Speak
second.
on it.
all
Speak on it.
day, every day. That's all you
Speak
gonna
on it.
do. I need to know that you ain't no
And let
pig. I
and
mean,
let
I'm
the
just
PS5
saying.
bring us some coins.
Listen, you could be on the PS5, just don't say nothing to me about how long I'm in the shower or how hot this water is. Just mind your business. Okay? Also, you can be on the PS5 all you want to. Just let me watch. Just let me watch my anime and let me watch my National Geographic. I don't care if I've seen Blue Planet 4 times. I'm watching it again today. Okay, mind your business. But to answer his question, I gotta ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all having sex? Because some of us don't want to have sex until marriage. I'm not saying we successful. I'm just saying we don't want to. I'm just.
I mean, it's
I,
2020. I
I
ain't
mean,
many
that's why
people
we
out
ain't
here
nothing to
trying
do
to
with
buy the
nothing.
car without testing
The
it out.
struggle is
So,
real. Jesus be a
I'm
fence.
not me personally. I'm not opposed to someone not having sex. So we can go with you not having sex.
Okay, if you're
Y'all
not
not having
having
sex.
sex,
Yeah.
when we get engaged, I would say like a month before we get married, I might move in or I will start the transitioning process from switching because moving from an apartment to a house, I got to think I'm a planner. That's literally what I do for a living. So I got to know, I got to switch this over, got to change this over. You running around doing wedding stuff, you got to get a license. All this other stuff is happening. So a week before the wedding, I think is not is pushing it too close because that week I want to relax. I don't want to do nothing but get married that week because I'm a lady and I'm gonna be stressed out. Plus, I
It
do
can
it
be
for a
done.
living, so whoever playing my wedding probably gonna catch hell. But I don't really want a wedding for real. Anyway, I'm just saying
You heard Elgin?
Me
He's
either.
done.
that part. I just wanna get married and go mind my business and go on my honeymoon. You know, it's gonna be a little wedding because I ain't gonna rob my daddy of the fact of walking me down the aisle because I'm a daddy's girl. But the aisle can be 3 feet long, as far as I care. But anyway, we can get married on the back porch. I don't give a damn. Now, because I can live out my wedding fantasies planning other people's weddings. So, uh, what? Okay, yeah. That can sometimes skew the perception. We tend to overlook things if the sex is fire. Mama, what? She made a
Mama
good
dropping
point. But my
knowledge in
mama
here
just said
today.
the sex was
Okay.
fire.
Mama dropping knowledge in here today. And when you want to talk about that on another episode, we can get to it because
Yes, of course, because I got a whole list, but we about to wrap it up
whipped
in a
and
second here.
Matized. That's all people
For
be.
a month before, but that's subject to change. I'll put it like that.
Mhm.
Subject to change because if we going through the counseling, if we've already having sex, ain't no point. Like I was, this is what my
You
answer
giving
was
sex too
originally going
much
to be.
power.
My answer was originally going to be, when do you want me to move in here? Because another thing I think people overlook is you're used to being in your own space. They're used to being in their own space, even though y'all in a relationship. You
Yeah,
have to
but you
get
got to see
ready
what
for
somebody do with their own space because they're gonna still do that even when y'all share the same space.
right, but people feel like once you move in or I move in, that everything gonna change because you here. No, this was my house before you got here. So you have to be, like you said, the mental part. You have to be mentally ready for all that. We're gonna have a talk. Like it, I want to say a month before the wedding, but it all depends. When do you want me to move in here? When are you ready for me to move in here? Because you may not be ready for that yet.
Mm.
Even if we get married, because who knows how long the engagement is gonna be. Are you mentally ready for me to be in your space? And for me, am I mentally ready to be in your space? Because I'm gonna see you every day anyway when we get married. So can I just have a little bit, a little bit more time by myself? Just a taste, just a little bit, just a little
I
bit of
agree with
time.
that. And I think that it's important. Well, not necessarily important, but because of that, because you just said it, because this was my house before you got here, that statement right there, my house, and then,
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think that because of that, a lot of people have issues with that. So it's good to actually just, even if I have a place, you have a place, let's get something that it could be ours. Like,
Ours.
let's just have
Yeah.
a fresh start. Let's buy something new. It's new to you, it's new to me. So it is ours. Just because I don't want to hear that this was my house before you got here.
Especially like me, I've been single for quite a bit, so I don't.
LJ got something to say.
I'm gonna go ahead, Elgin, and after you get done, Elgin, I'm gonna say what my mama just wrote in here.
Just to kind of speak to Niecy's point, as far as like buying a house and stuff like that. Um, I feel like we should kind of be more cognizant of stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Because people will just jump in head first, and now y'all both got your name on a mortgage. You don't have to do that. If someone is already in a stable position, a stable place, if you want to be, it's our house. It becomes our house when you put my name on the deed. So we don't have to go and remove and do all that. Just put my name on the deed. Now it's our house.
Right.
Yeah, but still, it's still
No,
really
no,
your
by
She's a
legal,
house.
by
homeowner. She
legal
don't give a
law,
damn.
by
That's
legal
her
law,
house.
by that piece of paper, this is now our house. You
Yeah,
ain't my
but
house anymore. This ain't your house. This our house.
but look,
That's
But
my
I'm
I
just
house.
saying, because some
you're
people
speaking for
put themselves in
yourself. A
financial
lot of people
situations
can't get past
trying
that
to.
though.
She said a lot of people can't get past that.
I was saying that, Elgin's speaking for himself, but there are a lot of people that just can't get past that. Like, okay, so I have a cousin that just got out of a relationship. And then in the relationship that she got out of, there were certain things that were purchased during this relationship. They were together, they were living together, they were together for about a year and a half. So the moment that it was like, you know what, this is not going to work. When I tell you, Buddy was making sure that he took anything and everything that was his, he made sure to take it back, even though it was like things that were purchased in a household to make the house a home for them, or even if, her funds were kind of like in it as well. Like he wanted to make sure that she did not have nothing. Like when I say nothing, and they were actually working towards marriage. They were really almost there. So imagine if there was a house in there.
See, because I was married, right? I said I was married, right? Okay.
Mm.
Everything was in my name, right? Everything is in my name, right? And we couldn't put the other person's name on there because felony conviction on there. I left everything because at that point I just didn't want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? No more. I got dumped, but you don't want me, so you can have everything. You don't want me, I'm gonna leave. And what was more detrimental is you just left everything. They didn't care. I was gone. And then when I did come back to get my stuff, I left stuff that I paid for. $2,000 mattresses, microwave, all that. I left the cat. We had a cat. I left the cat, and I love my Stevie Nicks. My mama has her now, but Stevie Nicks, my baby, that was my baby. I took stuff like the hair care products because that's what I cared about, and towels that my grandfather who passed away bought me. Everything else you can have. Excuse my language. You can have all that shit. I don't want none of it. I don't care if I bought it, you bought it. You can have it. I don't want it. I can buy new stuff. You know what I'm saying? I got my peace of mind and I got Jesus. You can have everything else. Cause if you touched it, then I don't want it no more. I'm the opposite of the person your cousin was feeling. You touched it, I don't want it no more. I don't want to bring that spirit or that juju back to where I'm going now. You can have everything. Um, but to say what my mama said, she said, um, my bonus dad, she said that's why Tim has a man cave. They don't share a closet or a bathroom. And I ain't mad at it. My grandparents were married for 54 years. They had their own rooms. Okay? Their own room. That's his room. That's my room. Hey, because she didn't like the way he sleep.
Mm.
So he snored and it was loud and
Nah,
obnoxious.
It's a no for
my
me,
husband
dog.
got to sleep in the same room with me. I'm sorry.
I ain't
It's a
made it to
no for
54
me.
years of marriage yet, so I can't make no comments.
I'm
Um,
sorry. I don't want it that way. It's a no
Yeah,
for me.
me
it didn't
either.
stop nothing because I had a daddy and an uncle. So just saying. Uh, and some days it was sometimes we would wake up after spending the night. He was coming out of her room, and I'm like, going back in the basement. I don't want no parts of this. I don't even want to know what happened up here. I'm going back upstairs. I'm woke.
No,
Um,
wait, Elgin's face is too much. What's going on, sir? What are you thinking about?
he thought he talking about
I'm
my
just
grand.
saying, like I I've witnessed people like that where like they made it and the number of years they've been together looks so milestone-ish to people,
Mm,
but I feel like you gotta get into um the intimate aspects of their life. Like if you're
I
living
was
in
I
the
was in there.
different, you know what I'm saying?
I'm a granny's baby, and I was
I
really
don't.
close with my grandparents. I'm gonna tell you the most intimate thing I've ever heard or say about their relationship. My grandfather died in 2016, the same year I got divorced. 4 months after I got divorced, actually. And he died at home because he wanted to be at home where my grandmother was. He was in his room. Well, everybody was in his room, and his head was laying in her lap, and he had gone once, like actually passed away. And she said, "Johnny," and he came back. Then he said, "Cat, is that you?" He said, "Yes." He said, "I love you." And she kissed him and said, "It's okay, I love you." And he died in her arms. That is the most intimate thing. Y'all ain't gonna make me cry today. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get it back. Let me get it back. Let me get it back.
Yeah, take a hit.
Let me get it back. um, but I spent a lot of time with them, and that's one of the most intimate things. But they was an old school couple because they in their 70s. I saw a lot of intimate things. Like he is intimate to me now, gross when I was a child. Like he would walk by and kiss on the neck. I'm like, ugh, granny, they kissing, that's nasty. Or he would just rub her butt on the way by, and I'm like, that's nasty. Y'all old. But as an adult, you understand? Like they were very old fashioned. But like I said, he didn't cook a lot, but I knew he could cook because my granny started working second or third shift, and he would have dinner ready when she got home sometimes. Or, babe, I washed your clothes and put your clothes out for work. I ironed, just stuff like that. So it was an intimate aspect of their relationship, but I think they was just different because we
Yeah.
different as a family in general. But I think it all just depends on the relationship. And I'm
Mhm.
gonna go over to my mama so I can get off that because that makes me emotional. I'm sorry, I was a granny baby. I stayed at my grandparents' house a lot because I wanted to. Okay, because yeah, I had an attitude about not being able to go there for their Thursday. But anyway, my mama said it happened to her when she first moved to North Carolina. They broke up. She was dating somebody. They broke up, and they got trapped in the lease together. I remember this. She said he was being a bitch.
Man, some people
And
learn the real person who they dealing with when it's over with. That's the
Exactly.
sad part about it is you
my
learn the
mama
Exactly.
real person who you
is
dealing when it's over. And it's like,
Mhm.
Put on the
if I
time
don't
for
know you was this much of a bitter a
she
hole,
said
I mean, save
that
myself some
ex don't
time.
even have none of the stuff. Don't even have nothing for himself now. And she said her and my dad are still friends. Yes, because my parents were together for 25 years, married for 16. They're both remarried now, and her and my dad are good friends. She was here for Thanksgiving one year. Her and my bonus dad. They had family. Both of my sets of parents was together. My mom read the eulogy at my grandfather's funeral because they grew up across the street from each other. We just different.
That's a level
Elgin
of
making all kind
maturity
of
some
faces.
people
We
never
just
make it
different.
to.
Hmm.
That's a level of maturity some people never make it to.
I mean, it was
Mhm.
work. It was work. But they
Mhm.
don't. They don't. I mean, we don't. What's the point? All the kids grown. What's the point of being like that?
And we
This.
only doing it for the kids anyway. It ain't like we want to see each other.
I mean,
Like, come on.
all right, y'all. We have almost made it to. We got like 10 more minutes left. 10 more minutes left. The 5 minute mark. I'm gonna get some final thoughts from everybody. You go. Your final thoughts need to be of 2 minutes or less. I want that Dave Chappelle wrap it up, but because I'm gonna hit you with with this. With you look at me doing this. Now it's time that you need to move on to the next point. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, and I'm gonna try to squeeze it in this last 10 minutes. But when I say it, I don't know how that's gonna go. With the people, for the playtime is over. The last topic or point I want to talk about is the need to want to have somebody with you all the time. I'm talking about people who ain't never been single longer than a couple of months or a couple of weeks. Just all the time. So you always end up in a relationship, and somebody always end up in your house, and it just seems like that. I'm gonna go last because I'm gonna have to censor myself down to these last couple of minutes. Niecy, go. I'm gonna go ahead, Niecy. You go first because I know you got just the need to always be you first on my screen. That's why I keep calling your name first.
Well, I can't really speak to that on a personal level. I mean, I've been single for 5 years. Def- But
We
I
right here.
know, but I know, but I because I'm not one of those people that have to be with somebody. And I pretty much, I know, and I've seen a lot of people that jump like, they're in one and they jump right out. They don't even
Double
give
dutch.
themselves time to heal. They don't even give themselves time to even evaluate what the lesson was that they needed to learn from the relationship, what went wrong, what were the issues, what could they have done different? Because at the end of the day, when it comes to a relationship, it's not just one party, like we both play a role, and, so you have to actually sit there and take the time to evaluate it. But I've seen some people, they just can't be alone at all because of like past things, like things that happened to them in the past that they don't want to deal with. They have past trauma or whatever the case may be, and that trauma just makes them not want to be by themselves. The other day, in my sleep, I think I heard something fell, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like what? And I got scared because I'm in the house alone by myself. And then I started thinking, I'm like, man, maybe I need somebody in this house because I can't.
You need somebody. Hey, go check that noise.
You don't want somebody black because no.
Ain't nobody gonna check. We just gonna be sitting. Listen, I'm gonna need my CCW. He's gonna be sitting here with the 4-5.
He gotta be black, Chris. He gotta be black. I'm just saying.
We don't go investigate the strange noises and stuff.
You need a dog.
Like, that's how we get picked off in horror movies.
Something. Okay, Chris. Since he's next on my screen.
I gotta agree with Niecy. Like, I'm personally not that way. So I'm an introvert. So
same.
I can be alone, be just fine. Every once in a while I go out, but all right, I'll see y'all later.
Pretty much. Elgin.
Yeah. Me personally, I feel like when someone can't be by themselves, it kind of speaks to a point of them not truly loving themselves. Because me personally, like, I feel like when you love yourself, like, that's all you really need in life is you, and that's all you depend on. Now, everything else is extra. So when you just hop in from person to person, it makes me think that you don't even know who you are because you're wrapping your whole existence up in the next man or the next woman. Because men do it too. Let's be real. There's some brothers out here that ain't seen a week of singleness because when it start going left, they got old girl on the line. Okay, I'm about to be out of this. Now I'm gonna be
lined up.
So it is what it is, but at the same time, I think that's the sad reality. Sometimes is people don't know themselves, they don't love themselves, and they don't spend time with themselves. Like, bruh, I will go to Benihana's by myself and
come on, somebody,
and sip some wine or drink a scotch
by myself,
and like. My bill gonna be way less than if I got somebody anyway. Like, come on.
See, he thinking we're here. He thinking we're here.
Yeah, up here. Like, ain't anything with nothing else but this. Cause all the rest of the stuff gonna get you in trouble anyway. But just to kind of be short and sweet to your point, like, yeah, I just feel like that. Me personally, being newly single, I'm good right now. Just being with me and. When that time comes, I'll deal with that when that time comes.
Glow.
Well.
You see we last, right?
No, I think this is an interesting topic. And the fact that none of us feel the way that we need to have someone, you're missing out. We should have had a person on here that could speak to that. You know what I mean?
I can speak to it, but I'm delivered. But
okay. But but I put there was a time when I was in college where I had several boyfriends maybe a month apart, and I literally saw them, thought they were cute, talked to them a little bit, had a class with them, and we dated for a little while. 3 months, 6 months was max. We lasted. Okay. I saw things I didn't like, I let it go. But after about 3 similar guys, like they were possessive, they had communication issues. I'm like, is it me or is it them? I keep finding the same kind of guy. I took a step back and didn't date for a whole year. And I looked at what I was doing, what I wasn't doing, what I liked and didn't like. I wouldn't say I had to have them, but college was a breeding ground for dating, right? It was just an easy access. He in college. He's smart. Him cute or something. I don't know.
It was a breeding ground, all right. It was a breeding ground.
It was something. But
yeah.
Again, to speak to that point, I never needed someone. I still don't need someone, but you can see why people do, right? It's intoxicating sometimes. You date someone, there's someone all about you, someone you can be all about. You texting them, calling them, that's my boo, right? There's a feeling you have when you have someone. It's a feeling you have to brag to someone about having someone. You ain't talking about y'all got problems, but that's my boo.
Girl.
You know, we arguing today again, but we could, you know.
She said again.
Because you have that someone, right? Like the person we talked about earlier. Literally, what they call it, a
revolving door.
Revolving door. Like, you know they got a boo, but you don't know if it's the same boo or not.
Everything you said about the last boo sound like what you're saying about this boo.
It does. You never know the changing of the guards, right? You never know which one it is, but you know it's someone there. And to me, it's dangerous because you get caught up in what it's like to be in a relationship. Like Elgin said earlier, being yourself though in that relationship.
Right.
You become the relationship.
Ooh, Jesus. Hold on.
Can I just add to that?
Wait, I gotta say this. Did you hear what she said? Y'all hear that? She said you become the relationship.
You see them, they see you, they see them. I mean, y'all become a package deal after a while.
I hated it. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say a lot of people that do that, to Glo's point, is they're dealing with insecurity issues. Their insecurities pretty much make them not want to be alone. And they're also dealing with identity issues because they don't know who they are, who they want to be. And being in a relationship, whoever that person is, they kind of just fall and sway along with who that person is.
Yeah. So I'm gonna end this out with my me and Manu talked about this on the other episode. I'm a serial monogamous. So I ain't never really dated. It was like what Glo said. It was, I see something I like in you, you see something you like in me. I'm gonna use those things to decide, okay, we in love. And then we just together now. And I ended up in a relationship like I told you, I got divorced in April. I was in another relationship by June. I had been with somebody for 9 years. We was broke up for 2 months and I'm in another relationship. And I don't know for real about you like needing to be with somebody. I know at that moment, I was still not sure about who I was because I had lost myself a long time ago in my marriage. But it got to the point where I was used to being with somebody and having somebody there. And this person made me feel good. And they were somebody who could be there. That's all I was requiring at that time because I was so used to having somebody. I need to be with somebody because somebody's always here. Even though I hate that somebody's always here. Here's see, this is how you know you don't know who you are. I hated me, the real me, hated that it was somebody always there. But I had got conditioned conditioned that somebody is always here. So I want somebody always here just because somebody's always here. I ain't been in a relationship since that one ended. And I'm okay with that because it's okay out here. Like that first year was terrible for me. because I'm like, I just want somebody, anybody. But I knew I was in a very dark place. Y'all, few of y'all know about the I call it the basement testimony. In that basement, I wanted to die. In that basement, I was suicidal. In that basement, I was depressed. It was a lot that, but I got all through that by myself. Me and the Lord talking at 4 o'clock in the morning, crying. That's it. And once I made it through that, I was like, I'm actually good out here. I'm okay. I'm okay with just this. This is nice. This is nice. Ain't nobody expecting nothing of me. You know what I'm saying? This is, and I'll just start like, metaphorically looking around in my life like it's okay. I think this is funny. I'm not being myself. I'm not doing stuff that I would regularly do because somebody else might not like it. This is fine. We going on year 4, Niecy. I started doing stuff a couple years ago, like I wanted the person I was with to make a big deal about my birthday. So I started taking myself on trips for my birthday. Uh, I went to the movies by myself for the first time a couple years ago. And let me tell you something. I was by myself and by myself because wasn't nobody in the movie theater because I went at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. So I had the whole theater.
That's
Understand me?
top tier self love right there.
I went to the movie theater, Nisi and Elgin might know, in Lake Wales, in that little bitty mall off 27. So you know what?
Listen,
Nobody in there. And I
nobody
saw
ever in there.
Brightburn by myself. And I was like, this is not, ain't nobody in here at all. But me and the people who work at the movies. I took myself to Laredo's by myself. I would go to Costa Real by myself anytime. And I was like, this is ain't nobody bothering. I don't have to force, I don't have to talk. I don't got to worry about what I look like while I'm eating. I got to a point where this is all right with me. But my problem comes because it's been so long. Sometimes I be thinking like, I want to get married eventually, but will that be, I don't want nothing to happen to be an interruption of my peace. Because I worked so hard to get here. It was hard to get here. So now I'm just like Glo said, it's nice when you have somebody around, you can have those moments or whatever. And I ain't gonna lie, it be times that I want them moments. But then I gotta be like, not right now. Oh, you want it. You want it. So wrap yourself up in a burrito in this blanket and chill. Put some music on, go to sleep. You're all right. And in the morning, I'm okay. But I'm at that point where I need to do some more stuff first. I need to do some more things first for me. So I don't get in a marriage or a relationship and try to not, because you can be independent, but I don't want to do things or acts or whatever to stake my independence while in a relationship. Because then you're going to mess something up. You're going to mess something up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the hour and 37-minute mark. And I wanted to make this an hour and a half, so we're doing good. So now what we're going to do is have the last words and last remarks. But I'm just going to pick somebody at random to go first. It ain't going to be you, Nisa, because I keep calling you. You just
Yes,
first.
I was going to say, work your way from the bottom to the top.
Okay, from the bottom to the top, Glo.
Sorry.
I don't do like that.
I'm sorry.
Listen, I'm always ready. You know what I'm saying? When you ready, you ain't gotta get ready.
PTG. TTG.
But to wrap it all up, it's just like communication, right? Let's talk about it. Because there was a situation where we knew it wasn't going nowhere. We knew we weren't together. We knew we didn't want to be together. We was enjoying the moment. That was a conversation to be had, right? But when you want more, you need to say that. You need to move like that. You have to do that and stick with it. Respect yourself, respect the other person. So let's say you only want to just hang around and have fun, but they want a serious relationship. I gotta say that. So that playing house comes into play. It's fun playing. Ever play with dolls? Eventually, you gotta grow up. So, I mean, I play with, I'm a teacher, so I play with my students. But I'm just saying, at some point, you gotta stop playing house. You're either gonna do it or you not. So I'll leave y'all with
Mm-hmm. Elgin, because she said from the bottom to the top. Elgin.
that.
um, I guess I'll say I'll just leave. I'll leave the people with think with this first and set boundaries, man.
Hmm.
Like Glow saying, say what you want, mean what you say, but
Y'all
move that
all in
way.
my
It's way more
business
important
today.
if you move that way because if you start separating yourself from someone because they're not meeting those boundaries or they're not respecting those boundaries, they'll get the picture and you'll be okay. Like you will be okay. Like Niece just said, she been single for 5 years. It don't look like to me that she not okay. So
Period.
Come
however
on.
long
Okay.
however long it takes to get to that place of connection with somebody that's on that level with you mentally, just let it take that. Sometimes you gotta run through the numbers. You got
Ooh,
just gotta run it up. Like,
ooh.
okay, I done had 10, 15, none of them panned out. Whoop de doo. No, it's not you.
15.
It's
Never
not
mind. I'm
you.
sorry.
If you're working on yourself, if you're working on yourself and you're actively getting better and improving yourself, and if somebody doesn't add value to your life, then you just got to keep it pushing. So that's what I leave the people with. Think with this up here, and set boundaries and move on your boundaries. Don't just talk
Oh,
about it. Be about it.
Jesus.
If somebody ain't respecting
Let's
you,
not talk about
ain't
boundaries.
respecting what you trying to do or what you got going on, peace, and you will be okay.
Elgin stole some of my final thoughts, but let's do.
You it ain't your turn, so you got some more. You got
See,
time to
you
come
wanted
up
to
with
go
something.
last. That's what
From
happened.
the bottom to the top,
It's
Chris.
okay.
It's Chris' turn
I'm
now.
still gonna say what I was gonna say.
I'm just saying. It's
Yeah,
Chris' turn now.
like
Go ahead.
I can't really add to it. Like that was
Drop
perfect
his
right
knowledge
there.
on y'all.
Just build
Mm,
yourself, like set your boundaries, stick to them. Um, a cousin of mine said one time something that always stuck with me. Like, don't let your heart get you into trouble that your head has to get you out of.
whoop.
Like, think with that first.
I need to. This
And
y'all coming up with all the shirts.
yeah, just like learn from other people's examples too. Like, you see
Mm,
the social media stuff and people posting this, and that, but like, learn what went wrong in that relationship and then make sure that doesn't happen to you. And like, let somebody else's experience be the best teacher.
Mm.
mhm.
My mama got some last thoughts too, y'all. I'm gonna read those.
Okay.
Um, she said, "Get some." I'm gonna read her last comments. Said, go get some friend, get your friend or some friends, some of y'all friends, a puppy or something. My husband was single for 5 years before we met, and she said, let those seasonal and transitional people be just that. When the so-called one comes along, you will know nothing will be able to keep you apart. And then she said, don't be with someone just to have someone. And she said, I'm okay with playing house if marriage is on the table in the room, not the garage. It has been mutually discussed, and
Ring.
neither is
I heard
bullying
that
the other
ring.
person into doing something. Do y'all hear that last part? I think women need to hear that last part. And I'm sorry, I know sometimes, and I've been accused of picking on the women, but I'm one of those. So I'm talking about myself too. If something has been mutually discussed, and neither person is bullying the other person into doing something. That's what my mama said. Nisi, now it's your turn.
Mm.
From the bottom to the top. Nisi.
All right. So my final thought is deal with you before somebody else has to deal with you.
Come on.
So
I felt that in
that
my secret
means
place.
that means that you have to take time to deal with yourself, love
Mm-hmm,
yourself, spend that
mm-hmm.
time with yourself. Do you like you? Do
Come
you like
on.
you?
You know me right.
What are the things, you have to learn your flaws and be honest with yourself. For me,
Come on now. It's getting good energy. Oh,
I
there
when
goes.
I first got single, that was one of the biggest things, to learn my flaws, allow God to process me, show me things that I need to know about myself, show me the things, like just
Mm.
reveal to me those ugly things. we don't want to see ugly things in us, but we do have to see it sometimes so that we can be a better person. So deal with you before somebody else has to deal with you. And for the women that have come out of relationships, that don't come out of a relationship bitter and upset and run into a new relationship, for someone else to have to deal with the hurt that somebody else put on you. Don't do that. So take the time and just get over that situation before you jump into another situation, so that poor brother don't have to deal with that nonsense, because I'm just saying, he didn't do nothing. He is not at fault. He is not the person that did what, the other person did to you. That's for the brothers too. Don't bring past hurt into new relationships. Just don't do it. And then also, don't just be all about talk. Just be ready. Just don't be all about talk. If you're saying this is what I'm going to do, if you're saying I'm all in, be all in. Don't say you all in just because you think the other person wants to hear that you're all in. Don't be all talk and no action. More action than talk. Let your actions speak for you.
See, that's why you was last, second to last.
And I'm done.
See, let me just say this right now. I am blessed. Yeah, I'm gonna be real sentimental right now. I don't care. It's my show to do it. I am blessed to have the friends that I have, because they be saying, and everybody's watching this, is gonna watch this, the stuff that they talk about and what they're saying, this is how they really feel about stuff. I know I wouldn't have them on the show if I didn't feel like that. We've had these talks with one another. A couple of us, minus the men. I'm just gonna say minus the men, because when I say cry, I'm talking about the ladies. We done cried about some of these things, and we done talked to each other off some ledge and got somebody through some things. They for real about what they talking about. I'm just gonna let y'all know that right now. So this is how they really feel. This is how they really are. None of this is an act. These are how these people really are, and I just love y'all for that. Okay. Okay. I'm Gloria. I give Gloria her flowers all the time, but Niecy ain't talked to you in a minute. So let me just give Niecy some flowers real quick.
Love you too, boo. I love you.
Last year was not last year. Year before last year was real hard. Florida was real hard for me, and the reason I was able to survive and even eat sometimes is because of this woman up here. Why am I emotional today? I want to cry.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Understand. You don't understand how much I love. Now I gotta give the people flowers while they're here. It's 2020 and something else. You understand me? And I love this woman. Y'all don't understand. When somebody really pray for you and pray over you, have laid hands on you and spoke to your spirit, you. Okay. Okay. Hold on. I got another moment. But I love you for real. I really do. I love you. You understand?
This
I don't even know if I would have made it into
so
2020
let's move
without
on.
you. I'm not done. Let me take these flowers. Take this bouquet.
She said,
"Yeah, this bouquet. It makes me uncomfortable when you do that. Come on,
I don't. But you need to get used to getting these flowers." Because I tell you all the time, you are one of the reasons why I believe in God. Because it's God all over this child. Do you hear me? Y'all understand?
Glory.
The testament. Okay. You're going to have to do a whole episode about testimonies, because I can't. I'm just let me stop, because I gotta laugh to not cry right now. But it ain't sad tears. It's just because I love this woman so much. Anyway, I'm gonna cry later by myself, so I won't be judged. My final thoughts on this is, I put up a post and my cousin sent. Me and her was talking last night, and I read y'all I sent it to the squad what she sent me. It's probably gonna end up being an episode. But one of the things she said when our conversation was, it's a certain time in your life where you have to outgrow the bullshit. And you might be the cause of it, but you will never know. You'll just keep jumping from relationship to relationship, to person, screaming, why me? Why they do this like to me, up to a person like this? I'm too good. But like Nisi said, you're not even recognizing that you have flaws. Everything always happens to you, but you don't think at all that some of this stuff is happening because of you. I think everybody spoke about boundaries. Listen, listen. I say listen a lot, but listen to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The part of you that you don't want to hear, the part that's telling you sometimes this is not a good idea. This person's not a good person. I need to stop being involved in this mess. You need to have all of that figured out before you let anybody in your space, your life, your heart, your pants, your wallet. Okay? I'm just all right now. My mom said facts. And that's
Or
it
your
on that.
purse. Or your purse.
That's what I said, wallet, purse. Huh?
Your wallet
Let
in
me
your purse?
in your cash app, anything. Don't let them in.
I ain't got no wallet,
We
y'all.
could we could go real left on that,
I got
letting
the
people
cute
into
little
certain
diamonds on
stuff.
it. You know, little cute wallet.
Sorry, Samir.
No, she needed to laugh. She all right. Look at her.
Ignorant is gonna cry either way. It's gonna be tears of deliverance, of tears of laughter, whatever. But thank y'all for tuning in today. This has been another episode of Queen's Room Podcast. Thank you so much to my guest Nethi, Chris from Chris and the XD. And XD, he got disconnected from us. Sir Elgin and Glow. We'll be back with more squad discussions. Don't worry, we'll be back. Thank you, my mama, for over here for her lively and insightful commentary. You can see where the ignorant comes from, but I don't want none of y'all call it ignorant. That's
We would never.
Thank
because
you.
we I'm not talking to y'all because y'all already know how I feel about my family. The people watching, hey, don't play with me. Anyway, but thank y'all for tuning in. Peace. We have to do it.